Thank you so much for agreeing to speak with me today about David and his beautiful diamond. I'm really looking forward to learning more about him and y'all's relationship. And,
my name is Christie Bernard.
Thank you. And who is your beautiful diamond made from?
My beautiful diamond is made from my beloved husband, David Drew Bernard III.
How would you best describe David's personality?
Oh, gosh. I would best describe David's personality as warm. It was welcoming. He was someone that knew the answers before you did. However, he would never make you feel less than. He would just wait for you to catch up. And then he would just give you that grin and that nod, like, yep, now let's do it. And he treated everyone like that. He always made you feel like you were the smartest person in the room when probably he was, but he never made you feel like that. He was an honest man. He was a man of integrity. He was just, oh God, he meant a lot to a lot of people. I'll just say that in a lot of different ways.
I love that. That's amazing. And I love the modesty, like he knows that he's not going to make you feel bad. That's amazing.
No, he never did that. Even though he always had the answer, he never would make you feel like, oh God, I don't know the answer to it. He never made you feel like that.
Oh, that's so amazing. I love that quality. What would you say was David's favorite thing to do?
I would say his most favorite thing to do was to watch his family excel in whatever they set out to do, their goals and accomplishments, especially his sons. Whenever they accomplished something or, he took so much joy and pride in that. And even in my ideas or business adventures, he always supported, always pushed, let's get it done. He always would put his whatever's aside to make sure that you accomplished your goals. Now, besides that, he'd absolutely love to sit and watch the Kansas City Chiefs play football. Let's just say that. Among other sports, but Kansas City Chiefs, he took very great pride in watching those games every Sunday.
Well, he had a good reason to take pride. They're a great football team.
Absolutely.
What were some of the ways that David would show his support for you and for his sons?
Oh, he would just make sure, first of all, he would give you one of his good pep talks, and it would probably be just words of encouragement or, just some way that he would make you feel like you're going to accomplish the goal. You're going to do it. You're going to succeed. Just always do it with integrity. Always be honest, be truthful, be yourself, be your true, authentic self. Those are just the ways that he would accomplish those things for you, how he would help you through your process.
Oh, I love that. Mm-hmm. What do you have the most pictures of David doing?
The most pictures I have of him are pictures of him with his sons, watching our sons, watching them play sports, or even as simple as a choir concert that the boys clearly did not want to do, but he would still sit there with just so much pride. He would make sure we would have to be on the front row so that our boys could always see us in whatever they was doing. So most of my pictures I always kind of have of me kind of to the side, kind of taken, because he was a big guy. So I would always have to be kind of like that. He just took the most pride in watching his boys. So I just always, when I would see that joy in his eyes, on his face, I would make sure to take those pictures. And then he also just loved for us to take family pictures every summer. So
that's so sweet that he would make y'all be in the front row so that they could see
everything. Every time we'd have to be, and I would be like, why are we on the front row? I would mind sitting in the back, but no, he would make sure we was in the front row so they could see us and know that we're there.
I love that. What's one of your favorite memories that you share with David?
I would say the year before he passed, we took a trip to Montego Bay, Jamaica. That was probably my most memorable the most recent before he passed, of us doing that. It was just the most relaxed I've probably seen him in some years. Just letting him, not answering the phone, not answering emails, just, sitting there on the beach, just soaking up the vitamin D, and just, it was the best time that we had together.
It sounds like a really nice time.
It was.
Was that just the two of you, or was that you and your boys?
Just the two of us. No.
Nice.
No. Of course, I will say 2 weeks before he passed, my husband wasn't a spontaneous person by any means, but he just all of a sudden just said, I want to take my boys to an NBA game. So we got in the car, drove to Indianapolis, and caught it, the Indianapolis and Chicago. And that was probably the most fun as a family that we had. And that was 2 weeks before he passed. So knowing that the boys have that memory, that, I don't want to say final memory, but, a family memory before he passed means a lot. So I reflect on those pictures a lot too.
Of course. That's so sweet. Yeah. Would David ever do anything that was just would just drive y'all crazy?
He wasn't that type of person. I mean, I'm not saying he wasn't a fun person, because he was, but he was just still always focusing on accomplishing tasks and goals and everything. So he probably wasn't a prankster. That was probably more my job. But however, he loved to see someone getting pranked. And, his laugh was so infectious, and it was so bold and hearty. It would just shake a room, once he started laughing. So, he enjoyed watching people get pranked.
Oh, I believe that. Sure. That's amazing. How would he react if you ever were messing with him? How would he react?
Girl, what are you doing now? He would just always, girl, he would just, or he would just he would look down at me like, I see you, I see you. So yeah, that's how he would react. Or if the boys are trying to do something, he would say, they swear I wasn't young before, he did a lot of stuff in college, but I was post-college. So right. I'm sure if you talk to his frat brothers, they have plenty of stories of things that he did. And yeah.
Yeah. Well, what are some of, just little things that David would do, from day to day, little sayings you would have, or just actions, habits, anything like that?
One of the sayings that he would say, and it's really a Bible verse, but he would always tell us, when things were difficult, or, the boys are trying to accomplish something in sports or school or me or him, he would say, iron sharpens iron. And if we're not uncomfortable, we're not going to grow. So he would say that a lot, especially to me when I would get oh, should we be doing this? And he would say, if we're not uncomfortable, we're not going to grow. So those were probably his two main sayings that he would say. But if the boys would do something, his kids would do, he would go, what was the justification? They would always go, Dad. He was like, what was the justification? So he would use that with anybody, though. He would look at you if he knew that was the dumbest move. Well, what was the justification behind that? So those are just his things were always kind of in words. You knew when he said certain things, he either meant business or, he was baffled by your decision making. So yeah, those are his sayings that he would say to people and to us.
What was the justification in that? I love that. That's,
yeah. He would say that a lot. What was the justification? The way his forehead would frown up. What was the justification? So yeah.
Did you say the quote was "Iron sharpens iron"?
Iron sharpens iron, and I believe it is Proverbs 27:17. Iron sharpens iron, and one man sharpens another. And that was one of his Bible verses that he would use a lot.
That's incredibly inspirational. Yeah. I love that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What is something, or what do you miss the most about David?
What I miss the most, this is probably the hardest question.
Right.
I missed and I had to write this down because I knew I would probably get a knot in my throat, but I miss his strength. I miss his comfort. I miss the way he looked at me. It was always without fault. He always just saw the beauty in me on days when I didn't see the beauty. I miss him always knowing what was going to be next, or at least logically thinking about what the end would be. He sometimes would always have a way of seeing what the end would be. And I trusted that. And I miss his gentleness and the support he always showed me that he had in me. You know, I called him my gentle giant. I mean, he was a 6'3", you know, almost 300 some odd pound man. And he was just still so gentle and quiet. So I just miss him. I miss us. So yeah, that's what I miss most about him.
Well, that was very beautifully said. Thank you.
Thank you.
Why did you decide to honor David's memory by turning his ashes into a diamond?
Well, I didn't know doing that was a possibility. My husband's family, they strongly believe in cremation. So our insurance agent, Debbie Baker Crow, State Farm, when we were going over everything, and she knew my husband's grandfather had all passed, cremated. He was like, well, I'm sure Dave's getting cremated, so what are you gonna do with the ashes? And I was like, put them in the vault, in the niche where his, father and grandfather. She was like, have you ever heard of turning him into a diamond? And the moment she said it, it just made total sense, mainly because he always would buy me jewelry. It was just his thing, whether it be a watch, a necklace, earrings, another ring. It was just always, for occasion, it was always some form of jewelry. So it just made sense. I'll turn it into a diamond. So she referred me to Eterneva, and I yet have been disappointed with Eterneva.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Is there any significance in color or shape to the diamond?
Red was our color. Red was just our color. I don't know if it was always my color growing up before I met him. It was his color, his fraternity colors are crimson and cream. We love the Kansas City Chiefs. We would decorate our house in red. So it was just something about red that we just always loved. The round, I chose round because my engagement ring was a round solitaire. So I just thought, why not? And then it was kind of funny when they called to tell me that his stone, the diamond, had actually grew bigger than what I'd actually picked out. And it was just kind of fitting. I was like, it makes sense. He was a big guy, so why not give me a big diamond? So that was the reason for the red and the shape of it. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I want to point out that you're even sitting in a red chair.
I'm sitting in a red chair. There's red probably behind me. Yeah. If I zoomed around my living room, you would see red pillows. I don't go crazy with it, but I have hints of red
around
my house.
I'm even wearing a red sweater today.
There you go.
That's amazing. I love it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What have been some of the reactions to your diamond, like when you've told your friends and family?
Oh, I recently had one that really, I wasn't really expecting. I don't wear it that often because of what I do. I'm a cosmetologist. My hands are in chemicals and water. And so I don't wear it during the week or anything like that. But I sing for my praise team at my church. And since we're still all virtual, we were getting ready to record, and I was adjusting my mic. And one of the other singers says, "What is that ring that's shining over there?" And it was my I call it my David diamond. And they were like, "What?" So when I told the story and the band and the praise team, everybody it was like a hush that came into the sanctuary. And when I told the story, it just felt, I loved their reaction. I felt their love for me. And when I look at it, I see his love for me. So I love to see people's reaction when I tell the story. Number one, they know it's possible. And then when they see it and you know, I just love people's reaction to it.
Well, that's amazing. I love that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How has it been just like daily having David's diamond?
I don't wear it every day. I pretty much keep it in the Eterneva box during the week. But when I put it on, I just feel closer to him. It makes me then want to put my wedding set on, which I put his diamond on my wedding ring now, but it makes me then want to put my wedding set back on because I don't wear it that often either. So it just makes me feel just ever so much more closer to him, knowing that it's him, that he's with me all the time when I have it on. So, yeah.
That's beautiful that you can just like, you know, wear it and look down at your hand and it's like, there's David.
Yeah.
You know, and he's
there's David. There's my David.
That's beautiful. Yeah. How do you ultimately want David to be remembered?
Oh gosh, I want him to be remembered as a man of integrity, a man of honesty, a man of strength, a man of intelligence. I want him to remember that. I want people to remember that he loved his family and he loved his sons, and they are his legacy. I know when people see them, they're like, oh my God, because my oldest looks identical to him and the youngest one acts just like him. So when you see them, you see him. And I just want his light to forever shine through them as best as they can without putting too much pressure on them as young men growing up in this crazy world. But yeah, I just want people to know that he meant what he said. He did what he said. He did it with honesty. He did it with integrity. And he also did it with your best interest at heart too. He always wanted everyone to succeed that was around him. So those are the main qualities I want him to be remembered for.
Wow. Well, I mean, everything you've told me about David in this interview, about how he was a man of honesty and integrity and thoughtfulness, like I 100% believe that. That's how he will be remembered. That's beautiful. And
he also, I will say this with the ring, and I don't know if this was part of your questions, but when I told my story initially with who I initially worked with, and then when Brooke then started to help me out, I felt like he was also in the process of the ring, not just his ashes, but the day that, and I know Brooke pushed forward too, and I can't thank her enough with Eterneva. She did a lot. She became a good friend. And the day that it was delivered to me was actually the year of our 15th wedding anniversary, the day that my ring was hand delivered to me. So I felt like in that moment when Brooke, and I know Brooke pushed to make this happen, but I feel like there was something else kind of maybe motivating Brooke to, you know, for me to receive my diamond that day. It just felt like he gave me one last anniversary gift that day. So it just, that day, receiving that ring just meant the world to me. So I'm forever grateful.
That's so sweet. You know, that he grew the diamond larger than it was supposed to be. And he came to you on your anniversary date. Like,
yes,
he was 100% with you in that process. And
he was, 100%.
Yeah, and I agree. Like, Brooke is amazing. She's just like the most thoughtful person. I love Brooke.
She is. Yes, I love her too. Yeah.
How has, David, how has his passing affected your views on life and death?
Oh, it's made me realize how incredibly short life is, and that we shouldn't take any moment for granted, not one. That we should tell our loved ones, we love you. I love you. We should say it. We should mean it. We should enjoy life to the fullest, and save, and be responsible and be thoughtful. And, I know I'm the one that's grieving, but it's also taught me that I'm not the only one. So it makes me, be more patient sometimes with, family members or, other people when they want to express how they feel. I've learned to just be quiet and listen because they're hurting as well. But it's just made me appreciate life more. And it's also made me trust God more and trust his promises for my life, because I know that there is a bigger picture. I don't know what it is yet. But I know that God is directing my path and ordering my steps. So that is what his death has definitely taught me.
Wow, that was so wise, Christie. Thank you. And beautifully said.
Thank you. Thank you.
What, did David teach you about life? And you kind of just answered this in the last question, but if there's, any small thing that you could take away from just like the day-to-day habits that David had, what would it be?
It's taken me to just be still. That was the one thing he would always say. I was the free spirit and he was the structure. But I would probably say I probably now have taken more of his qualities in that, where I'm learning to be more still, and really look at the big picture of whatever the situation may be. Look at it as a whole, not just my angle of it, look at it as a whole, and then draw your logical, your end game. What is it going to be? I think that's what I've taken from him, and I'm trying to apply that to my life, and that's biblical too. Just be still and know. So I think that's my biggest thing that I am working on getting better at. I am not good at it yet, but I am learning to just be still, have those quiet moments. It's okay. You don't have to have something going on all the time. Just be still, process. So that's what I've learned.
That's beautiful. That's amazing. And just like, learning a little bit every single day, I think is what it's all about, because, if you just learned it all in one day, but it wouldn't mean as much as learning every single day and having David's memory in mind and knowing that you're
absolutely
continuing his legacy. So
absolutely. And that's what I'm trying to do. And at the same time, I'm trying to still find me again. There was always an us. So this whole journey of just finding me, solo person, single person, widow person, whatever you want to put the label on me, that's when I'm in my stillness. That's when I'm learning what to do,
It's beautiful. I love that you said also that you were the free spirit and David was the structure.
He would say that to people. She's the free spirit, I'm the structure. Or in other words, sometimes he would say, I was the surf, he was the turf. So, hey, it is what it is.
That's cute. I love that. What's one thing that you think David would want to tell people watching this video?
Oh, gosh. I think he would want people what he would say to people is, live your life the best way you can, enjoy life the best way you can, enjoy the small stuff. That was one thing. He was always a man of maybe more smaller gestures. And it was a daily gesture, or every so often he knew what my favorite chocolate bar was a symphony. So, every now and again he would just walk in the house with a symphony bar, just stuff like that. We didn't get hung up in the glamour holidays, the Valentine's Day or whatever, because like he would say, I try to show my love every day. So just sometimes bringing home that symphony bar after he's worked a long day, to have the knowledge to just, I know I had a long day. It was a stressful day. Let me just get her something, those little things. So I think he just would like people to enjoy the small things in life and, accept people. Don't be so judgmental. Just, love life, love God, love your family, protect your family. He's a fierce protector of us. So I would think that's what he would want people to continue to do in their life, or begin to do. I don't know, but I think that's what he would want.
I love that. That's amazing. And I agree with what you said about what David would want wholeheartedly. Like, I think, it's about the little things, like the day-to-day things, like bringing the chocolate to our home. Like that's, I think, where our memories lie and where their legacy is on. So
yeah. And to be honest with you, was it because we're like almost a year and a half since his passing. And I think it was my first birthday after his passing. My boys came in with the symphony bar as a birthday.
You're gonna make me cry.
So to know that they were paying attention to the little things means a lot.
All right. And they're, like you said, like, you know, them growing up to be like him, like that's, wow.
Yeah. So.
Well, now is there anything that you would want to tell people watching this?
About what do I want them to know about me, or what?
Just anything. Anything about David?
I would just
your relationship.
Want people to know that I think I would just want people to just be the best person that they can be, and live with integrity, be honest, and love. Say I love you. I think I would want people to, to do that. I think that's what's wrong with our world. We don't have enough love and it's too much hate. So I think, and they're just accepting, because one thing I was always taught, none of us have a heaven or hell to put anyone in. So just go at it a little lighter. Just lighten up. Maybe that's what his dad has taught me. Just lighten up. It's not that serious. Just not that serious. But maybe that's my food for thought. I don't know. Just lighten up. Smile.
Yeah. I agree wholeheartedly. I think that, the last thing you should say to someone should always be, I love you,
Mm-hmm.
because
it should be.